This was the beautiful sunrise over Wilson Peak on Friday morning. You may recognize this picturesque setting near Telluride, Colorado as the scene on the Coors Light beer can. We're just used to seeing it a little snowier by now. Southwest Colorado is still waiting for their first big snowstorm of the season, and the drought is growing week by week. In the latest drought report written Thursday, the drought conditions that are at a level 2 out of 4 expanded in the southwest, while parts of the Front Range continue to see a reduction in the dryness that was leading to drought conditions. That is still a result of a snowy October soaking into the soil along with our 1 November snow. The snowpack map, which shows how much snow is stored in the high mountain peaks, reflects the drought. Statewide, we're only slightly below average, but parts of the southwest are 84% below average. The National Drought Mitigation Center says the water in the snowpack counts towards the drought long before the snow melts, so southwest Colorado doesn't have to wait till the spring to see drought relief. These are very unusual conditions even for southwest Colorado. Only 3 times in the last 20 years has there been less snow at this point in November, but history favors a rebound. 2 of those 3 years finished the season near or above average. The long-range GFS forecast model is showing a shift in the weather pattern that would favor the San Juan Mountains. That switch could happen as soon as Wednesday. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, 9 News.